Alright, first hand, we get kings. Makes things pretty simple. He three bets us. Now, one thing I want to talk about here is you can see me four betting to 260. In the very first hand, readless. I don't think I talked about this very much in my slides. I tend to give people a lot more credit. I actually fold a little tighter than my readless chart will say. Hands like ace two or something I'd fold. But again, when I have a hand like kings, I tend to think they have a very strong hand. If this guy, if I was sure he was a fish, or if I thought he was a fish, I would most likely raise very large or just shove, because a lot of fish would be calling with almost their entire three bet value range. But since, again, this is readless, I've got to pretty much make a balanced play here, which as you can see, as I continue the video here, it's 4 bet to 260. This is a number that could be a bluff sizing as well as a value sizing, so it leaves the door open to still get 5 bet shoved on. Or in this case, he flats, which tells me a little bit about him. Not many regs would be flatting in this spot, although I wouldn't completely take it away. I choose to c-bet small relative to the pot size, when most people standard c-bet around half pot. If I were bluffing here, the smaller the better. You get a better price on the pot. And with a pot that this bloated, it should be no problem to get stacks in by the river. He ends up calling here. And on this turn, he decides to check. And what I want to talk about here is this board hits so many hands that if I were 4-bet bluffing, I'd have a lot of outs pretty much regardless of what I have. So under normal circumstances, if the turn had been a 2 or something, where I probably would have bet small again, I choose to not really overbet shove, but I decide to shove. Again, the board is so wet that I feel like it looks to me like I have so many draws. Like if I had a heart draw or club draw or anything, that I would shove. I don't think he's folding any of his value hands. It's like a jack or maybe even 2 10s if he's gotten this far, especially since it looks there's so many draws that I could have here. I don't see him folding it. And also I make him pay the max if he does have a draw, because if I were to bet only, like, say 200 with the plan on shoving the river, I'd be giving him a good price to call there. And I don't necessarily think he's just gonna spaz shove with it as a default. That is, I don't have any reads yet. Of course, I played this a few days ago, so I do remember some details of the hands, and I'm trying to analyze these, being a little impartial, even though I do have some reads in the back of my head still. I'm trying to remember what it's like to not have them. He does end up folding here, just to keep it moving along, which surprises me a little bit. I figured if he had anything there, he'd call me. I don't think he made a big fold particularly there. I think he may have just peeled kind of wide on the flop, which tells me a little bit about him. I defend ace 10 here. Like I said, I don't get too crazy 3-betting early on. I'm trying to get some reads, and if I 3-bet and he 4-bet shoves, I don't really 50 bigs deep. I'm not really entirely sure where I'm at, and that's the kind of flop. The very wet mid-range flop is the kind that I'm just going to check fold as I try and feel him out a little bit. Here, well, we're moving a little fast here. So here I'm probably going to check call one street, see if he's capable of 2-barreling. We turn the king, so now I'm definitely going to check call another barrel if he bets. He bets a little bigger. He bets 2/3 the pot, which tends to mean one of two things. Now again, I'm being a little general here. I tend to think that it means strong value hand, or he's turned some kind of combo draw, which tends to be more of what that is. So I decide to call and proceed cautiously. On the river, I do remember he bets very large here. To me, this just seems like value most of the time. My hand does look like I have an ace a lot, so it seems like I'm either folding to a small bet here, or folding to a large one, or calling a small bet or calling a large one. So in my mind, to me, this just seems like a value bet. So I feel that I fold here.